Hi guys and welcome to the United Stand. I mean, it should be a happy show today, but it's not quite a happy show. We've not really spoke before we've gone live, so I'm not too sure how these guys are feeling, but I'm pretty sure they're feeling the same as me. It literally just feels like we've lost a game. A draw is a loss to me nowadays because you need to be winning these games, especially games against Southampton, a team that's going to struggle this season, I think anyway, and a team that we should be easily getting 3 points off. Dropping points against the big six, that can be acceptable, but dropping points off teams that are going to be towards the bottom and end of the table, if you're looking to try and challenge for the league or you're looking to win something this season, it's not acceptable, and it's definitely not acceptable playing the way that we did. I mean, I would have been a little, I mean, you're still annoyed, but I would have been a little less annoyed if we actually would have played extremely well, we went for everything, we weren't being sloppy, but the fact of the matter is, most of all the players on that team were sloppy today. I thought the mentality wasn't there. I thought all these in-game decisions were a little bit off again, like they were last season. And it kind of looked like one of them games last season where we lost points, and that's when City started to creep back up and they went majorly ahead of us. And the fact that is happening in the second game in, I mean, you shouldn't get too carried away, but I am getting carried away because I want to win. I want to try and win the league. And the second game in, you're already dropping points like that. It's extremely disappointing. But anyway, I want to move on to these guys and ask you what you guys think. Jordan, overall, just get us started. What was your overall feeling of that game? Are you extremely disappointed like me? Can you understand it? Like, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I went into the game really optimistic, like I did this whole season. Ultimately, we haven't addressed the problems from last season, so we're going to see more of the same. Every man and their dog knew that we needed midfielders, and we haven't addressed the problem. You know, that's ultimately it. We keep talking about, Ollie's and his sign-ins and stuff. And I said to you guys before, we can sign all the players that we want, but ultimately it is going to fall on the manager to make the correct decisions about personnel that go into that starting lineup and also make changes that are going to affect the games. Again, today, we saw a manager that didn't affect the game the way that he should have. He continues to put faith in Fred. Look, I think it was Jay said just before we started about, you're not allowed to dig out Fred because he's one of our own. He's our player. He is not good enough. I don't want to hear about Copa America. I don't want to hear it. We're talking about the Premier League. He is not a good enough midfielder. Like, as much as we want it to work for him, it's not going to work. But he continually gets started. There's players in that squad that should have started today, should have been brought on, and they weren't. So ultimately, live by the sword, die by it. You've got to look at the manager.
Yeah, it's one of them where you're looking at a game and you're missing Scott McTominay in the midfield. You know you've got a midfield problem, and that's no disrespect to Scott McTominay, because for me, he could be a good player for us, he could be a great squad player, but when you're missing him and you need him in your starting 11, that is a massive sign that you've not got the right midfield calibre there. And you know what? Even though we've not signed a midfielder, which we're all disappointed in, and today you've got to look at that, I think, surely the board has to go away and think, I need to sign a midfielder, but there still could have been better options. For me, Fred and Matic was the worst possible combination for that game. And
Awful.
he could have brought Donny on and played him with Matic like he was doing in pre-season. Why bother even starting doing that in pre-season if you're not going to do it in the Premier League as well? Pre-season is time to test things out and work out what you're going to do in the league. And again, he's just gone back to the same thing. And Scott McTominay is literally injured and he's bringing him on over Donny. It just shows how far down the pecking order Donny actually is. And I even think Matt is above Donny at this point. I really do. And I can't understand why he even bothered keeping him. Kev, do you think with the midfield today, what do you think we should have gone with? Do you think that was the reason that we did end up losing the game? Well, not losing the game, drawing the game.
Well, it feels like a loss. Do you know, I said midweek before this match, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. We just had a fantastic result against Leeds, right? And bar the fact that Bruno Fernandes scores a hat-trick, I would have had Scott McTominay as man of the match against Leeds. Thought he was absolutely sensational. So where does the thinking come? We're playing Southampton away of bringing Matic and Fred, two defensively minded holding midfielders, right? This ain't Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. It's not some two-legged Champions League tie. I mean, pardon me, French, man, it's fucking Southampton, man. They sell all the best players. They're a feeder club for Liverpool. They sell all the best players. Danny Ings left. They lost the centre-back. the best centre-back. They constantly sell their best players. And what an opportunity to go there today, and set the tone. Go at them. For Christ's sake, man, we beat them 9-0 last season. 9-0. And yet we go there today. And I do not, for me, team selection, I'm absolutely staggered that he's gone with them 2 holding midfielders. And like you say about Donny van der Beek, if I'm Donny van der Beek, I'd be knocking on Solskjaer's door tonight, ringing him, whatever, and saying, where do I fit in here? Because if he can't get a game against Southampton away, he's got no hope. And for me, the pairing of Matic and Fred, it set the tone for the whole of the game. I'm absolutely baffled as to why he didn't make a substitution at half-time. You have to react to bad performances, and that it was bad. Even make a substitution in the first half, late into the half, try and change it up. But no, I mean, this has been our criticism of Solskjaer, has been he doesn't react to these situations and make the big calls. He left it far too late. Yes, he introduced Jadon Sancho. He's trying to get up to speed and that, but you need to go for it, man. Like I say, it's Southampton. For Christ's sake, they're celebrating at the end of the game. You'd swear they've just won the match. That's what it means to them. And I know we're Man United and we're the big team in town and teams look at this as a scout, but again, we're Man United. These are the games. Positives, what? We just equalled Arsenal's record, this unbeaten away record. Who cares, man? You don't get a trophy for that. Honestly, I'm trying to think of positives, but today, team selection and the way that the manager has reacted, or not even reacted, to the problems on the pitch has just done it for me. Obviously, you can tell by the way I'm talking and that. I'm usually trying to be proactive, quite uplifting, but 2 words, man, dog shit.
Exactly. It's just, there's absolutely no excuses for it. You could say we're away, we're not at home, we miss our crowd. The away fans are absolutely amazing today. You could hear them. I think we could all hear them through the TV. They were much louder than all the Southampton fans, so that's not an excuse. And people say, but he made 3 subs. He started making them early. Sancho, even though great signing, it's a like-for-like change. McTominay, like-for-like change. Lingard, same thing. It's just like you need a different type. If that tactic isn't working, you need different players with different styles, such as Donny, to come onto the pitch and make a difference. And that is the problem I have. Them subs, they improved us a little bit, but they wasn't a lot. You need a sub to come on and make a difference. And we had players on the bench that could have done that. They just weren't used, unfortunately. I feel like Ollie's very set in his ways of how he wants to play. And again, I was texting my dad at half-time, like, why hasn't he made a change? Southampton made a change. But he doesn't have balls in this situation to go and do it. He needs to be ruthless. If you're playing badly in the first half, the way that a lot of players them were, you don't get another 15, 20 minutes. That was your chance in the first half. You get hooked, and that's what a ruthless manager does. And it's just like players coming into the team. I know, personally, obviously I'm not blaming Lindelof for anything, but like when you've got a ruthless manager, your best players go onto that pitch. Varane should have started today. Sancho should have started today. And I'm not saying that's the reason we drew the game. Like, have you seen Lukaku straight into the starting 11? There's no letting him wait it out on the bench. When you're good enough, you get onto the pitch. And these are just problems that we have. And when we do kind of draw a game in this style, these problems come back to light. And they're going to keep coming back to light the same way Jordan said, until we solve them. Jay, today, the lineup, what was your initial reaction? And then obviously when you saw it on the pitch, how was you feeling then?
Yeah, obviously I'm disappointed, and I don't want to repeat what you guys repeated because I agree with every single word you said. Kevin's point regarding not changing a starting 11, well, the very fact that Martial's played centre forward, I had major issue with. Martial today looked like a zombie on an ice rink trying to balance a football. He was absolutely dog shit. And the Martial FC apologists will make up this crap. Oh, he's getting fit, blah, 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 blah. Not good enough. He thinks he's number 9. He wears number 9 jersey, but he's a glorified winger. Solskjaer starting today up top. Mason Greenwood is levels above Martial already. And Mason Greenwood's a 19-year-old kid. Levels above him. Yet, Ole picked him and stuck Greenwood out in the wing. First mistake by our so-called manager. And I'll go back to your point, Beth. You said balls. Last season, I coined the phrase, testicular fortitude. Our manager has 0. To not start Sancho today, that's lack of balls. You said about Lukaku. He comes right into it with Tuchel, right into starting 11. So why couldn't Brian start today? The goal we conceded, guys, I watched that a couple of times. And in football, we've all played since kids. My son was playing this morning, guys. You play to the whistle. You don't hear a whistle, you keep playing. And for me, Matic didn't close down. Lindelof and Maguire were still like two statues. And obviously, Fred, being a donkey, he's going to turn a leg, it deflects off him. So people are going to say Fred. But I thought the two centre backs were very slow in reacting. So play the goddamn whistle, guys. Trying to pick some positive from today, it's Mason Greenwood. That's the only positive I can pick. Apart from that, guys, it's the same shit show as last season. The only difference is this season we're wearing canary yellow shorts.
It is extremely disappointing, and the worst part about it is the guy that we needed to come on, Alex, you love this guy, he weren't there. He's not there because we've let him have an extended break. I don't know whatever reason that for, but personally for me, I don't think that should be happening when he's one of your most important players. He should be fit and ready for the start of the season. And then obviously he's not in the squad and he's leaving us at the end of this year, and we're still so reliant on him in games like this. Alex, Cavani, Martial, Greenwood, for you was always this number 9 debate. Is Cavani the most important one, and he's going to be going at the end of next season?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I said it on the show, like towards the end of last season, like along with Bruno, I think Cavani is literally like our most important player, because you just notice the difference when he isn't on it in the team so badly. I feel like today, especially in that first half when we were getting a lot of set pieces and people were just missing out, getting on the end of it, or they were just heading it and it wasn't just good enough. I feel like Cavani, if he was actually playing in that sort of position, then he would have at least got one goal. We saw against Southampton multiple times last season how good he can be in the air against them. And the only thing with today that I can even slightly make an excuse for them is that it's the second game in. I had the fear going against the Leeds team in the first game that because they don't have many internationals apart from Calvin Phillips, that they would have had a full preseason together to practice certain things and to practice team cohesion. And obviously, as we're a team full of internationals, it's different for us, and it's just so many players were sloppy out there. I thought Greenwood, Bruno and Pogba played well. But then the midfield, obviously, you've all spoken about it. That goes without saying. But I thought every single one of the back four today, all of them looked really, really sloppy at times. And after seeing like how good Maguire and Shaw were the whole Euro, so I don't know if they're just like a bit burnt out from there, a bit rusty from that, but they were absolutely class then. Wan-Bissaka's really the only one that doesn't have an excuse, because he's had a full preseason, unlike Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw. But just I can't really complain about Matic, because me and Jay were saying before we kicked off that we wanted it to be Matic, but we wanted it to be Matic and Van der Beek, because we thought that they formed quite a good relationship together. But just Fred was just it was just so bad today. But like we said, he had obviously a long tournament as well with Brazil, so I'm just hoping that we build him from there, because you saw with Liverpool, and I know City did drop points, but you saw with Chelsea against Palace and stuff, they aren't going to drop as many of these stupid points that we seem to always do. So I just hope now, moving on to the next game, I think Cavani will at least be on the bench for then, but then Sancho and Varane have to start. And with Martial, I can only assume Solskjaer is trying to balance the squad and just keep everyone happy now that we have so much depth. But based on like even towards the end of last season, but what has he done to show that he should be starting up front over Greenwood if Cavani's not there? Martial was class 2 seasons ago, but all of last season he didn't do anything even before the injury. Whereas Greenwood, okay, he had a bad start of the season, but then they brought the start up even before he scored. He had 7 goals in his last 9, and you saw against Leeds when he led the line, he was different class. So I hope going into the Wolves game we go back to Mason up top.
Martial is not a number 9. I think that is evident today from what we have seen. Right, this guy when Ibrahimovic come in, took the number 9 shirt off Martial. Martial spat his dummy out. But Ibrahimovic is still a better number 9 now, I think, than what Martial will ever be. You can't get into a certain part of the age that Martial's at now, right? He's not young or anything. You have to have that instinct, right? There was a moment in today's game where McTominay sprayed a ball, I think, from the right-hand side across the goal. Nobody there. You know, if Martial's a number 9, you need to be on that 6-yard box penalty spot there. And the ball just flashes straight across the goal. Nobody there. And again, I just don't understand. Play Greenwood up top. You know, again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Against Leeds, he run Leeds ragged. Martial, for me, out on the left, cutting in, is a fantastic talent. You know, there is no question in that. But like you said, Alex, Cavani, his movement, and when he's not in that team, and yes, we beat Leeds 5-1 or whatever, but when Cavani's not there, no Cavani, no party. He just brings so much experience, and you can't buy that. You know, that movement in the box. We've seen Cavani. We've seen it last season when we were 2-0 down at half time, bring him on and we win 3-2. You know, he just changes everything. Martial's hold-up play is non-existent, absolutely non-existent, would not bring anyone into the game. But I've not got a problem with him being out on the left. Not a problem at all.
Can I just jump in there a sec, guys? Look, I totally agree with everything you're saying. Cavani is a big miss, and I think, you know, maybe this is Ollie's whole, you know, man management, and it may turn out to be, you know, a masterclass decision that he's given him that extended time off. But ultimately, that squad has enough in it to beat a team like Southampton without Cavani. You put the right 11 out there, make the right changes, and we should have turned them over, and we didn't. All that's going to happen this season is exactly what happened last season if we keep playing that midfield. I said before the game when I looked at that lineup, I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to go too hard because I didn't agree 100% with the Leeds started 11, and it turned out to prove right. But I thought to myself, bearing in mind that how we turned them over last season, the fact they've lost their better players and haven't really replaced them, a braver manager should have started a stronger team and just went for the throat and put this game to bed nice and early. It was always going to be difficult with them having a full house of fans and whatnot. Every 50-50, they seemed to want it more than us. They did not play like a team that were down and out. They went at us like they did. But like we keep saying, the game's a winning midfield. He keeps starting Fred. The guy is not good enough. I get pelters on Twitter for calling him out. But ultimately, it's going to cost Ollie his job if he keeps playing Fred.
It's not just Fred, though. Everyone today was sloppy.
He's awful, Beth.
No, Fred was the worst of the worst. He was, but it wasn't just him as well. Like, Wan-Bissaka kept passing it out of the pitch in the final few minutes when you want him to get that win. He passes it straight into the thing, straight into our half, and Maguire has to come in and make that challenge and get a yellow card. I just think all over the pitch, he was sloppy, all over the pitch. Fred was bad today. He was bad, and he should have been hooked at half time. But there's not an excuse for everybody else as well. At the end of the day, these players are professional footballers. They've got the ability to not have to pass it out, to not make sloppy passes. The problem is up here. They just obviously weren't as focused today. The mentality wasn't right. And every single game when you're going for a challenge, you've got to be switched on. You've got to be focused. You've got to know exactly which pass you're playing. You should know where all your players are on the pitch. The communication today was dreadful. Players bumping into each other. Maguire getting it nicked off him from behind. Why has he got his back to it? I think a lot of the players today were bad, and I thought it was a mixture of everything. I thought the only players that actually even stood out to me were Greenwood, Pogba and De Gea for that save by him. But everybody else, they were bad, really bad.
Actually, Beth, on that De Gea save, that was a world-class save. He doesn't save that. We're having a different conversation here. We would drop 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but yet a large portion of the English media in a month's time, when Henderson comes back, we will bang the Henderson drum again. De Gea is levels above Henderson in my book. And today, only for De Gea, we lost that game. And also, like that shot, I thought, was it Lindelof or Maguire was caught napping? I've seen it again. I've only seen it once. But somebody lost the ball, led to that shot. I'm not sure which of the guys lost it, because I'd be lying if I said I did.
Oh, it was Maguire for the big chance.
Was it Maguire? Okay. The other point that I want to raise, guys, the very fact that Tom Livramento, the Southampton 19-year-old, was man of the match. It's his first game at home for Southampton. He's man of the match. That's testament to how poor we were today. And anyone that wants to talk of this mythical title race, you may as well believe in Santa Claus and unicorns, because we're not in a title race.
Is Santa Claus not real?
I just think it's just so frustrating that we were saying literally before the transfers window even opened, what we need. We were all saying a holding midfielder is the main priority. Every single person. And don't get me wrong, I'm over the moon at Sancho. I'm over the moon at Varane. They're two brilliant signings, but we needed a defensive mid more than we needed a right winger, and you could even make the case that we needed a defensive mid more than we needed a centre back as well. But the only thing we're thinking is now is that there's all these rumours about 4-3-3, but we're not going to try the 4-3-3 apparently until Varane's in the team, because he trusts Maguire and Varane to then be able to build off the 4-3-3. So who's going to be that number 6? Is it just? I assume it will be McTominay, Pogba, Bruno. I don't know how you guys think about that, but that's
I don't know if I don't even think
go.
he'll do that, me. I think he'll play Pogba on the left, he'll play Fred, McTominay,
but then when Rash is back,
Bruno. Yeah, when Rash is back, I don't.
He's going straight in the team, I think. When Rash is back,
it feels like there's not a plan of like who's going to play where, what roles everyone got. Like, is Pogba is his position left wing? Is he going to go back into the midfield? And if his position is left wing from now, why did we buy Sancho? It's very, very confusing to me, because it just feels like there's not a plan, and it's always the same midfield too in McFred. But then you've got all these options up front, and still, like, it just doesn't feel like you're progressing, because having all these options up front is great, but then when games are won and lost in the midfield, and when you've not got options for that, it just showed today that we were a lack of options. But I would say, to me, obviously, I don't want to praise the players that much in this game, because I thought it was a terrible game. But one of the things that I thought was a bit of a shining light was Paul Pogba's performance. I thought he played great. I thought the way he turned with the ball, the way he can back people off from fouls, his physicality. I thought we've seen a lot more from him. Now he's drifting from the left wing into the midfield, and he's switching a lot of the time with the players in there. And I think you get a lot more of a creative outlet from him, and not all the pressures on Bruno. Because personally, for me today, I don't think Bruno had a great game at all. Because Pogba was playing well, it did take the pressure off him a little bit. Yeah, we should have won the game, and he should have finished a few of his chances. But on the left wing now, do you think that's his mainstay now? Do you think we have to play him in the attacking threat, or do you think we are going to have to move back into the midfield? Anyone can take it with that.
Okay, today I saw from Pogba what I haven't seen probably in 5 years. That he was cold-hearted bastard, right? 91st minute, Che Adams went in and he fouled Bruno. And Southampton were just about to stage a counter-attack. Pogba goes in, smashes into Che Adams, takes a yellow card. I've never seen Pogba do that. I think he had it in his locker. So that for me, I know a lot be made of his work on the ball, his passing range, passing ability. But the fact now that he actually for once has spotted danger and went in, taking a yellow card and made a professional foul to stop a team going to counter-attack. I've never seen Pogba do that.
I thought he played great today. I thought he looked like he really wanted to win. I thought he just looked like he was turning up and playing for the team. Sometimes with him in the past, people have claimed he's too casual. Maybe he doesn't have that care. Today, like Jay said, we saw that care with him, and I think you're going to have to keep playing him in that attacking role when he's producing performances like that, because we've talked about it before. We've not got much creativity. I think it makes it worse by the fact Wan-Bissaka can't get to the byline, put a cross in for him to save his life. Bruno's on the edge of the box. Wan-Bissaka's literally on the overlap numerous times. It doesn't pass to him because he knows nothing's going to happen. I think that's a problem, but I think you've got to have creators in that front line, and Pogba is a creator. So as much as I've said I want him to move back into the midfield, it would be hard for someone to take his spot right now.
I don't see how you can do it though, because when Sancho is going to get integrated into this team, and Cavani, as I've said already, is our main man. So that's two slots. But the way Greenwood, Rashford as well. But then how Greenwood's playing, you can't justify dropping him. So the only way really is to bring Pogba back and still allow him to go forward. If we had like a Kante type player, it would be a lot easier to do that. But they're not going to sign one even with the amount open. So that's why I think it could now all lie on McTominay coming in and just having the season of his life, basically, if we want to make it work.
It's just crazy to me. If that is the way they actually want to play, surely they would have gone for a CDM. Like, surely you would have.
It must be. The plan isn't for Pogba to be there. It can't be for Pogba to be there, or we wouldn't have signed Sancho.
Yeah.
That's what I'm coming back to that point. I just don't feel like there's a plan, because if your plan was to play a 4-4-3 with Pogba and Bruno, you would have bought a CDM. You would have done, because there's not a single player that I think in our midfield who can necessarily do that job. I really don't think there is.
Beth, is Varane and Sancho Ollie signings?
Yeah, 100%.
They are, yeah. Okay.
Are you starting beef for me now, Jordan? I can feel a bit of beef coming.
Ding, 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 ding.
Why didn't he start Sancho today?
No,
why?
We should have done.
Why?
Should have done. And I've got no excuse for that. I'm just as disappointed with you are. I'm annoyed at Ollie, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, I thought he managed that game really well, because he didn't. I thought Varane should have started. I thought Sancho should have started. And I do think next game they will both start. But again, what I said last week when I was on the show is I don't want it to happen where it comes a game, we make a few mistakes, we don't play great, we end up losing points, and that's what makes him make them changes. It should just happen. And this is what I mean. I'm not saying if they would have played, we would have won, even though I think we would have. I just hate the fact with Ollie, he won't change it unless we end up dropping points. And that's the wrong outlook to have on it. Completely the wrong outlook to have on it. But Jordan, big fan of Basuma. I watched him yesterday and he was great. Yeah. He was great. I'll admit he was great. Ruben Neves today, I think he's got 84% accurate pass accuracy on his thing, on the football stat thing. And apparently, even though obviously they lost the game, he played really well for Wolves. If you're Man United now, I mean, whether we are going to do it or not, are you looking to get someone like that in instead of waiting for like a Declan Rice?
Do you know what, Beth? I was literally just about to say to you, the transfer window's still open. Like, he should be knocking the owner's door now saying, look, I need 40 million to go and get one of those two midfielders. That can literally change our season. It's not too late. We can make changes now. But if he sits back and he doesn't, then ultimately it's gonna fall on his head. I want to know what conversations they were having behind closed doors that he prioritized Sancho over fixing our midfield. But it's not too late. We don't have to go and spend 80, 90 million on Rice. There are other effective midfielders that can come in there and do a job and allow us to be more creative. And that's why I'm giving Fred such a hard time, is that I totally understand what you're saying. There were other players, Wan-Bissaka and a few others that didn't have a great game today. But Fred in that midfield, that is our engine. Like, if they have a bad game there and don't dictate the tempo of the game, it ultimately has a massive knock-on effect to everything else going forward. So that's why I'm so frustrated with this Fred situation, because we've seen it all last season. Like he just isn't good enough. But for me now, go and get Basuma, pay the money. Lingard today, like why is Lingard come on over Van der Beek? Let's sell him to West Ham, use that money and fix the areas that need fixing.
And that's what it is, Jordan, right? Games of football are won in the middle of the park, right? You look at that centre midfield pairing today of Matic and Fred, right? And then you think back to the glory days, the 90s, Keane and Scholes. I mean, they're literally not even fit enough to get anywhere near the boots to even lace them up. And that's how, sort of far we've fallen. And I know I'm reading the comments here. There's people saying that we are overreacting to this result today. Personally, I don't think we are, because I think we're spoon-fed a lot of shit. And 5-1 last week, brilliant, happy times and all that. But you do have to look at things in context. And the fact is, we're not football experts or whatever, we just give our opinion. We know that Manchester United need a central defensive midfielder and a decent one that can get up and down the pitch and do the job. And we've been crying out for this for years, and we've not addressed the issue. Yet we go into this season, we signed Sancho and Varane. Great signings, but how long did it take to sign Sancho? We wanted him last season. We waited a year. Same with Bruno Fernandes. We wanted him, what was it, about 18 months or something it took us to actually sign him and get that over the line.
Yeah. I think people in the comments that are saying, we're overreacting. It's only the second game of the season. It's not the second game of the season. This is a continuation from last season. And we've had a whole summer to rectify this situation. So that's why it's so frustrating. That game 2, we're clearly seeing that nothing's changed.
The thing is, people say it's an overreaction, and obviously you can think what you want, but at the end of the day, I feel like I sound silly saying it, but I shouldn't sound silly. I want Manchester United to win the league this season, and if And to do that, you can't drop points like this. And that's why I'm so annoyed. I'm a very big Manchester United fan who wants Manchester United to win the league. If that's overreacting, it's overreacting. But I care about how my team play and I care about the result that it is. And for the rest of the day, yeah, I am going to be upset about it. And if I want to moan about it, then we all can. And I think the reason why it's not just one of them one-off games where it doesn't go your way. It's the same stuff we've seen for ages. It's the same stuff we've been going on about. And when it gets so repetitive and it doesn't change, you slowly start losing your will with it, and that's what's happening today with us. And at the end of the day, we shouldn't be losing these points against Southampton. We just shouldn't be, and that is why everyone's upset who's here, and that's why it's annoying. It's annoying because we could have won that game. It's annoying because many factors. It's annoying because it showed the cracks in our team once again, and it's just extremely disappointing. I just can't get my head around the board's decisions. I mean, I would love to know what all his transfer priorities was. I really want to know. I would love to know if he's in there day in, day out saying, look, guys, I really need a midfielder, and they're just not doing it, or if he actually is happy with what he's got. I want to know all these things. Obviously, it's not quite possible to know, but that would try and make me understand it a lot more. But I can't understand how Lingard's coming on for a 5-minute cameo just to make him happy when you could literally get 30 million for him. I can't understand that. I can't understand why Van der Beek can't see a minute of football and we've not sold him this summer. If he's not going to play, sell him and get some money in and bring someone in who is going to play. Because we spent 40 million on a midfielder that hasn't played any important minutes for us whatsoever. You could spend that money on someone to come in and who's actually going to play. What is the point of spending 40 million on someone who isn't in your first team, isn't even coming off the bench? I can't get my head around it. I honestly can't. I can't get my head around the fact he played him lows in pre-season, then just dropped him again, even after he played well.
Yeah. Beth, I think we can all agree today that bringing on Lingard, sticking Pogba into midfield, and leaving Donny on the bench, that's tantamount to sabotage on behalf of the manager. And there's super chats here that we've missed super chats because we're all so emotionally charged after that terrible performance. So I'm going to read one here from Wayne List. He's saying, just chat among yourselves and ignore us paying for super chats. Sorry, Wayne. Show us some particular fortitude and say the words all out, same error week in, week out. Well, I think, guys, we all said at the start of the season, it's 38 games, we were giving Solskjaer a clean slate. And we all gave him a clean slate. But for me, that slate today has been severely cracked.
It's one of them things. I'm not saying at the end of the day, it is just one game. It is just one game. But it's continuously happening. The more it goes on, the more you want to back it, the more you want things to start going right. The more today I was thinking, oh my God, he actually might make us up at half time. It might have changed. But again, no, it's the same thing. And it does get tiring. It gets tiring to defend. It gets tiring to have to try and understand. And I think it's just the most disappointing thing is we could have won the game, and that's really what it is. I even thought Shaw, I don't think Shaw was great today. I thought Shaw was massively lacking that edge he had at the end of last season. That sharpness. Like, I feel like at the end of last season, he would have got to some balls a lot quicker. When it was the final minute, trying to win that game, he would have gone and tried to get to the byline, not just hold on to it in the midfield area. I didn't think he played badly. It's just because Luke Shaw set such a high standard for himself and we were so reliant on him. It's like it does affect the team when he's not at his best. And when both fullbacks aren't at the best, I think they're massive factors of the game. That's sometimes people don't analyse it properly. They think about the midfield, they think about the forward line. Fullbacks, they give you an extra leg going forward and they give you an extra leg going back. And I thought we lacked it a lot in that department today.
Yeah. I thought actually when Sancho came on, I responded to Alex's tweet. When Sancho came on, it was like Wan-Bissaka came to life. He was getting on the line. He was doing interplay with Wan-Bissaka. And we did a show last week, and we were agreeing we want to see the synergy develop between Sancho and Wan-Bissaka. And if our manager had started those two on the right, who knows? We could talk in here about a 3-1 victory. The super chat here from Cape Town, and he says, you can give Ole 3 CDMs, it won't change a thing. The lack of managerial prowess does not disappear because of one signing. He moved an informed Greenwood to accommodate Martial, a centre forward joke. Do anyone want to take that?
Well, just to like play devil's advocate and defend him. On the one hand, he does make a lot of stupid decisions, but on the other hand, we've lost one game since November, I think 2020 in the league. We haven't lost away in the league all season. I don't think Bruno's ever lost an away game. It's just we make stupid mistakes to not win the actual games. It's annoying. Like last game again, we were winning and then we did actually come back, but we said when it was 1-0. We said last season how many times it's going to eventually catch up to us. Keep giving teams these, letting them back into the game. So last week it was 1-1, but we did it again. But then today we go behind again. And last season we kept going behind more times than anyone else, and we kept managing to get out of it. But it was always going to catch up with us, and we just need to. The main thing that cost us last season, like I said, we lost. All our losses really came in like the first 2 months, which I hope that's not a sign of things to come this time. But then we only had that one mess up against Sheffield United, and then all the others were just so many stupid points dropped with draws. And it looks like another one today. And like I said, you've seen now Liverpool with Norwich and Burnley. They don't drop teams like that. Don't drop points in these stupid games, and it's a hurdle we have to get over.
And we did have the chances to win this game. You know, if you
100%.
wanted to be positive, Lindelof, that header in the first half, God knows what he was at. Pogba had a free header, Greenwood, Fernandes had that chance.
Matic as well.
So it's not going back to the days of Louis van Gaal where people were falling asleep in the crowd. You know, it was left and right. You know, we did have chances today to actually win this game. You know, you look back to the Leeds game, we took them chances and we were devastating. You know, maybe, I don't know, do we put this down to just being a bad day at the office? Or are we looking and thinking, no, do you know what? Solskjaer has got this really, really wrong.
I think I was just going to say, it's a point I touched on earlier. I really think because it's different. If we had this performance like 15 games in, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because it's literally only our second game. So you don't expect everyone to be as good as they're going to be throughout the season at this point, especially the players that haven't played the pre-season.
But at the same time, it's the same problems that we've seen. Like, I just don't understand how you can pick Matic and Fred in that midfield. It's bad enough picking it, but then watching it for 45 minutes and think, all right, I'll have another 30 minutes of this. Like, what? How? When we were showing Sancho when he was about to come on, that tactics board, I was like, what's actually on that? Because we've not seen it, have we? Like, let's be honest. I just thought it was sloppy, and you can blame players for not having the mentality right and not kind of being focused on the game. But communication, passing the ball, these are basic things in football, basic things. And when you don't do the basics right, you start to fall behind. And I personally think that's what happened today massively. The basics were just so off. And it is down to the coaching, because that should be drilled into them. It should be drilled into them. If you do more than 2 sloppy passes today, that's it, you're off. I'm bringing you off the pitch and you're not starting again next game. And this is what we've been talking about. The ruthlessness is just not there. Not there at all. Anyway, I'm going to read this.
What Mourinho
Beth,
was
I
like.
actually agree with you. I agree with you for once, Beth.
Yeah.
Super chat, guys. There's lots of many of them.
I might have been wrong then. I'll have to rewatch it afterwards.
Go
Jay,
on, do your super chat.
Come on, Jay, hit us.
Okay, got one here from Jeffrey Alvarado. Why would you not bring Donny into the middle and keep Pogba on the wing? Pogba was the only one creating. We won't win anything with Mac Ass in the middle. I like it. Mac Ass in the middle. Another one here from Zar. Alex, this is for you from Cape Town. Hi, Alex. How many trophies have we won? I'm not interested in home and away records. I want trophies.
Yeah, we all do. But
you want trophies, you have some money at the back.
People are literally too impatient these days. That's just one thing that really annoys me. Yeah, we won trophies under Mourinho and stuff, but we want to win the big trophies. I don't care about these little tin pot trophies. We actually have a team now good enough to win the Premier League. This year. And yeah, I'll take anything at this point. Now we actually have a starting 11. Like if Chelsea can win the Champions League last season without a striker and with that thing, and people will say, "Oh yeah, they have an elite manager." Okay, so maybe that is the next step we have to take as a manager. But I'm saying the actual players we have right now are good enough to win the Premier League and the Champions League. We just need now to just get over that next hurdle. And okay, if it is the manager, then that's the next step we have to take. But Ollie is the one that built this team. Like Mourinho did win the Europa League and stuff, but that team is a load of dross. It had like Pogba and Zlatan in it, but so many terrible players.
Yeah,
but that's the point, Alex. That's the point, is it not? That's the point.
That is the point. Yes, he's built a good team, but he doesn't know what to do with it because he's not putting the right personnel out on the pitch. And then when they are out on the pitch, he doesn't know how to make the changes to get us over that line.
Yeah, so that could be. So if by the end of the season, then the manager could be the issue and then we'll swap him. But I'm saying this is the best position to challenge for the big trophies we've been in for absolutely years, I think since Fergie.
No, 100%. I agree with Alex on that point. I think Ollie's the best manager we've had since Fergie. I don't even think it's even a question at all. I think he's built a squad that's youthful, that's for the future, that's massively talented. I mean, we brought the likes of Varane and Sancho in this year, best in the positions I think that you can get. I mean, Sancho, he's 20, 21. You've got Greenwood, you've got Rashford. These are all young English talents. I mean, it doesn't really matter what nationality you are, but it's nice to see it in English football. And then you've got Varane, who's a world-class centre-half, coming in. And this is why I said, I've said it on shows with you, Jordan, before. I'm not like this massive Ollie in that people think that I am. But what I do want is I want to give the manager my faith for this season. And because we're not going to get anyone else. And so far, I think third, then second, for what he started off with, isn't bad. It isn't bad. And I thought there's been glimpses of hope that I can see that we are improving and we are building a team. But what lets him down, said it time and time again, ruthless decisions, in-game management, they're things that lets this manager down massively. And also you could argue now that not getting a CDM this summer, I think it's brought his transfer rating down quite a lot. I was like rating him at like a B for transfers, maybe gone to a C now because he's not got a CDM in. But we are building something, and this season is his make or break. For me, this season, if he doesn't challenge, and we keep seeing these performances, then I will slowly start to lose my faith in Ollie. I will. But he's got more of his own players in now, not the players that he was just given. He's nearly built his own team. I think if we get a midfielder in, he's basically built his own team now. And he's got to be able to go and try and win stuff with that. And if he can't do it, then thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for building this team. But it would be nice to see if you can do it. And I think it would be unfair to get rid of him before he's had even a chance with a team that he's built. Anyway, I'm just going to say this guy had put a super chat in before. I kind of remember seeing what it said, but obviously the super chat's gone. It was GTJ, and he was saying, Jordan, that he disagrees with the Fred chat. He said when he came off, we had a lot less of the ball. Do you want to come back at that?
Why are you trying to wind me up on a Sunday? Just let me live.
Jordan's going to go punch his green screen after this.
I just want to have my roast after this. Just leave me alone. He's entitled to his opinion. He's totally entitled to it. I don't agree with it. Fred, that midfield should be an engine. We've got a Rolls-Royce attacking line and a midfielder and a Robin reliant. Fred is not good enough. That's the end of it.
Just a quick one as well, guys. Breaking news here. Fritz Romano's just tweeted, Cristiano Ronaldo will be on the bench for Juventus. He's not starting. It was a precise request from Cristiano because he hopes to find a solution on the market in the next days. But Juventus have received no official bid yet for Cristiano. I mean, just going to throw it out there. Would you do it?
In a heartbeat. It's Ronnie. It's Ronnie. Come on. It's not for discussion.
I think it's very interesting, though, that he's trying to get a shift of move in this last week. Like, where can he actually go?
PSG and then them sell Mbappe. So they have Ronaldo and Messi in the same team.
They'll sell Mbappe this year, though, surely. I have got a feeling with the Mbappe
But he goes on a free, though. This is his last year of his contract.
True, but I've got a feeling with the Mbappe thing. If they win the Champions League, I think he'll sign. If they don't, I think he'll leave. And apparently, he's very high up on Manchester United's transfer list. And obviously, people are like, he won't never come to us, but I'd love to have Mbappe. We've kind of
Haaland over Mbappe at United any day.
That's what we need. Yeah.
I would obviously. I do want Haaland, but I just think Mbappe's like seriously.
Do you know what? It's the reason I'm looking at the minute about Harry Kane going to Man City.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Weird, but I'm also, in a twisted way, I'm like,
pushing him there.
He goes there because Chelsea have just signed Lukaku, who scored today on his debut after 15 minutes against Arsenal. So they're fixed up top. So if City did then get Kane, it's like next Barcelona are on the bones of their arse. Real Madrid are. PSG aren't going to be able to be in the market for Haaland because of financial fair play. So it's almost like you've got a free run at Haaland.
Yeah, but Bayern won him.
And then he
wanted
goes,
to replace
no,
Lewandowski.
sorry. Roy Keane literally snapped my dad's leg. No, I'm all right. Like, we'll just see what happens to him. But I don't know. It's one of them things where I can see us getting him. I could see us getting him. And I think he would be the missing piece as long as we get a midfielder. I mean, we don't want any more breakdowns next summer as well. I do think he could be the missing piece. But obviously, if Ronnie was leaving now, I would take him any day. He's another character there that's got that leadership, got that winning mentality that you need, and I think this team is in need of that. And I think Varane coming into the team will help. But obviously, with Lukaku soaring straight away, I mean, we know he's a goal scorer. But one, we let go of him, and two, that's what happens when you bring a new signing straight into a team and give some confidence. I personally, for me, I think easing someone in and leaving them on the bench, I think that can knock confidence. I think he puts a lot of pressure on you when you're coming on. I don't think that's the best way to integrate someone. If I was Ollie, I would have just started Sancho and got the ball rolling, because now every time he comes on, every time he starts, everyone's going to be watching him so closely, and if he doesn't do anything, it's just pressure building up. And even the same way, I was surprised when Pep started off with Grealish straight away, but he did bring him straight in, and that's what needs to happen now. These players need to come into the team. And moving on from that, I want to ask you, every single one of you, now, with the Wolves game and after what you've seen today, what changes would you make to that starting lineup? Jordan? We'll probably all agree, to be fair.
Yeah, do you know what? I wasn't, again, same as the boys. I wasn't mad at seeing Matic in there as that cover for the back, but it needs to be Van de Beek, somebody that can play between the lines and speed the ball from midfield into attack. But ultimately, we've signed players. We've gone out and signed, the best winger we could sign, a World Cup winning centre-back. Why are they sat on the bench? You're right. Throw them in. Let's get them playing. So for me, those players have to come in. Greenwood, for me, if Cavani isn't available still, he needs to play in the number 9. I don't understand how you can play as well as you played last week against Leeds and then be taken out of that position. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So that's, for me, midfield needs looking at, defence needs looking at, attack needs looking at. I'd want to move it around.
So who would you start in the midfield next game again?
Midfield, Matic, Van de Beek.
Is that what everyone would go for here? Because Kev, you'd probably go for McTominay and Fred, wouldn't you?
Oh, McTominay if he's fit. McTominay if he's fit.
I'd like to see McTominay Pogba.
That's what I was going to say, McTominay, Pogba, and then...
I really would. I think it's energetic. They can both get up and down the pitch, cover for each other. Like I said, the mix was just totally wrong today. Matic and Fred. Listen, if you go into Anfield and you need, I don't know, a point from that game, you're looking to go in to get it. Same going to them bit of blue knobheads, at Man City. If you go in there and you need to get a result, I can understand playing Matic and Fred, in front of to protect the back four. But again, Southampton, I mean, seriously, do you need to do that today? And that's where I'd be looking at. But a front three, I would say, well, if Cavani's still injured, I'd put Greenwood up top, Martial out left, and I think it's time now to start Sancho. I'd have Sancho on the right as a front three.
Jay, would you agree with that one?
Look, I want Donny to play in that pivot. We'll be 3 games in, and Solskjaer still doesn't know whom he's going to play in his pivot. Which should be your balls on starters every week, should be your striker, your CDM, your centre-backs, your goalkeeper. That shouldn't be for discussion every week. There we are, 3rd game of the season, and we still don't know. That's on the manager, Beth, and everybody watching. For me, it's Donny and Ashley McTominay, because we know McTominay can go box to box, and I'd like to see Donny as a CDM against the likes of Wolves. It's Wolves, not prime Barcelona. Sancho has got to start. If Martial starts as number 9, I'm sorry, all he needs to find another fucking job. Honest to God, come on, like. Then out on the left, Pogba, he's doing well on the left. I'll leave him there. There's chats here that we've missed, so I'm going to read them because they're going to phase out. Somebody, I think in Canada, it's for you, Beth. No, Beth. It would be very fair if you get rid of him before giving him a chance. If you want a chance, he can give Donny one. Fair enough. K Flo is saying He won't challenge Beth. This team under Ole won't make 80 points plus, and this is what it takes. Can't see the rivals throw away silly points this season. And one last one from a member. Oh yes, sorry, Adi Kunman. Welcome to United Star Members Club. Sorry, I had to read them out.
I can't see them on my screen, which is strange. I can't see any of them. But...
I have them on my phone because I can't see them on my screen either. I have them on my phone.
Oh right, okay. Well.
Sorry, it's a good one here as well from Cape Town again. Get Ronaldo and Ole to play. Get Ronaldo in, and Ole will play him as CDM. Essentially, that's the level of his in-game management. I've
just seen one that says Beth and Alex from Johnny Mass. Beth and Alex are the YouTube's McFred.
With my team then, because I don't know if you came to me and it cut out. I was thinking put Pogba back in midfield, McTominay, Sancho on the left, Mason on the right, and if Lukaku's good enough without no preseason to come in and just score in the first game, then we need to bring the main man back as soon as Wolves, because I think we really miss him, and you can't drop Mason. Sancho needs to play, so Sancho, Cavani, Mason front three.
Honestly, I'm thinking to myself, he might put Sancho on the bench again, you know.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Play Pogba on the left, Greenwood on the right, and Cavani up front, and then play McFred in midfield. That would not shock me one bit. Personally, I think Van der Beek could play in that pivot role for literally majority of the games this season. Not against the City, not against the Chelsea, not against that type of team, but for all of these teams. I think he actually is quite defensive. I've seen him put a good tackle in quite a few times. I think he's quicker than what everyone thinks. He's taller than what everyone thinks. And I think him and McTominay could work. I think not him and Pogba, but I think Pogba and McTominay could work. And if you are going to bring Pogba out of that left wing spot, obviously he's still got to play. So you are going to have to play him in that midfield role with the best option would be McTominay, I'd say. It's mad how crazy, how much we're missing McTominay just after one game. And obviously he's had a lot of slander over the past year. I've given him some slander as well because often side-to-side passing, slow. But to be honest, I think he actually has improved a lot. I think what it was with McTominay, you'd get some games with him where he was great. He was exactly what you needed. And the good thing about him is he does turn up for the big games as well. He doesn't shy away in the big games. But there's also some games where it was side-to-side passing, bad passing, he'd get skip past. And I think for me, it was just a little bit inconsistent. But we are seeing now a consistent Scott McTominay play a lot better than what he play his good game more consistently. And I think that's what we need. And the fact we're relying on him now shows how drastic our midfield is, basically. Go on, Jordan. Come back at me. Go on.
Oh, Beth, I don't want to fall out with you, but neither of them are good.
I'm not saying he's good enough, but I'm saying he's the best of what we've got.
He's better, but they're not good enough. We need to sign a proper midfielder.
I know we need to.
We're not going to.
I'm talking about who we're playing for next game, and do you want me to just?
Yeah. The way you just talked about him then, I'm trying to, in my head, picture this player that you're talking about. And in my head, that is McTominay. He
played extremely well in that Leeds game. He played extremely well in that European final. And I'm not
talking about him to be taken out today.
Pardon?
No, he didn't.
He was injured, Kev. Ollie said.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, that's why he said he was injured. But we're going to try and give him half an hour. And to be fair, he did give him that half an hour. I think he likes him a lot. To be fair.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to ask, guys. We've spoke about it a lot, but I just want to get your definitive opinion on it. For me today, looking at that game, looking at the lineup, I thought this is probably Martial's last chance to get in the starting 11. Do you think that's it for him now? Do you think it's going to be he's going to have to come and try and do something off the bench when he gets the chance? I think that's it for him starting now.
For me, it gets in. I think he's a strong contender for the left-hand side. But for me, if that's an audition today and he's putting himself out there to say, I want to be the number 9. He has got the number 9. I want to be the number 9 of Manchester United. It's just, Alex touched on it before, and Jay's mentioned it before. When you put him next to Eddie Cavani, they're just two totally different types of players. Pure instinct. Cavani's just always in the right place at the right time. Makes them runs, draws defenders away. And from what I've seen today, does Martial do that? Will he make a selfless run out to the left-hand side to drag a defender away to allow somebody else to come through? And I've seen loads of comments as well, people, he didn't have the service today, Well, look at Harry Kane, at Tottenham, even for England, when he's not involved in a game, drops back into midfield, he's looking to get the ball and get involved. He's not happy with just standing up there. He wants to be a part of the game. And that's why I would look at Martial and think, no, mate, as a number 9, I've not seen anything to suggest that at the grand old age of whatever he is now, that he's going to make it as a number 9.
I just feel like he would have. I think this, when he came on last week, today, I mean, he might get a bit more of a chance under Ollie because Ollie does seem to like him. But I feel like this was his chance to kind of get their minutes and turn it around this season. And obviously, we know he's a confidence player. Unless something drastic happens with Martial, I think this could be the last season for him. I honestly do.
On Martial, guys, like what have we become? Like, are we like Care Bears FC, arm around the shoulder? Like, come on. Like, Lindelof gets an arm around the shoulder, but when he can't tackle, gets outmanned and out jumped by centre forwards. Martial gets an arm around the shoulder when he sulks and throws his eyes out of the pram. Martial is not a number 9. Like, Martial can be a number 9 in La Liga or a slower league like in Italy, but he's not going to do it in the Premiership. On the left, or playing the Carabao Cup, but the hustle and bustle of the Premiership, he cannot start above Mason Greenwood. There's 2 new members of Night of Stand Members Club. It's Greg Heron and a guy called, I'm going to mess up his name, Adi Kunawan. I'm going to mess up your name, buddy. Very, very sorry. I know you did. Do my best.
I've just seen on the chat that obviously Fred's getting called out a lot for having a stinker.
Because he's shit.
But yeah, which is true. But Harry Maguire's not been called out for having a stinker. I mean, I thought Harry Maguire wasn't the greatest today, but I don't think he was that bad.
No, he did.
Why don't we
I'm
do
a massive fan, but he did do some bad stuff.
Why don't we do, guys, a very quick players' ratings? Like at Leeds, we were playing 7, 8s, 9s for a lot of players. Today would be a stark contrast. Might do it very quick.
Let's do it.
Very quick.
Should we do it where we say it out and then we all just agree?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Very quick.
Right, we'll start off with De Gea. I'm going to go 7.
Yeah.
That's
8.
Same.
8 because without him, we lost the game.
Yeah, but he did do some silly things, but they didn't actually cost us. Like the punching was a bit erratic at times. So
From the
I
free
think 7.
kick,
Yeah.
7 for me.
Right, okay, so we go next to Wan-Bissaka. I'm going to go... Oh, is 4 a bit too low? I'm gonna go 4 personally. Any disagreements?
I'd go 5.
I'll go 5 as well. Yeah.
5.
6 is average. I thought he was way below average.
I'm not giving anyone in that defence higher than 5, but I'm just saying so 5 for him.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
We'll get through
Jordan,
this
you going
quickly.
5 as well?
5.
Right, so majority gets a 5. Lindelof, 5. Maguire, 5.
5.
Shaw, 5.
5. Yeah.
Fred.
4.
2.
I'd give Fred a 3. I'd probably say
He turned up.
Yeah, two for turning up. Guys, can you remember the 40th minute when he got left for dead on the wing and then just manhandled like a child?
And then he fell on his ass. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so
It
embarrassing.
was a 39th minute against Armstrong. I have it here. Fred falls on his ass. 39th minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to go minus.
Problem is,
minus.
it actually happened in the 39th minute, but he took so long to hit the ground. He landed in the 40th minute. He gets a 2 for me.
Sorry, just going to read
Okay,
out
2.
the chat that I've seen. Red since 1975 says, of course, you cannot replicate Giggs, Scholes, Keane, Beckham as a midfield, but my point is that our manager played in a team with this midfield, but cannot seem to fathom how weak our midfield is. I think he hit the nail on the head there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the comment of the day.
He was a super sub,
That's very good.
He doesn't use subs. It doesn't add up, to be honest. Right, but as we're going on with our player ratings, Matic, I'm going to go 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Okay, and we move on to Bruno, 6.
Yeah, 6.
6.
Agreed.
Greenwood, I'd go 7.
Yeah.
Everyone agree? Okay. On the left wing, Pogba, I'd probably give Pogba a 7. I would want to give him an 8, but we didn't win the game, so I would give him a 7.
He was the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah.
7.5.
He stood out.
7.5.
Yeah,
He stood out as the main man today in what was a poor performance.
Yeah.
And obviously, the guy that's had a lot of stick today, deservedly so, Martial up front, 4.
4.
0.
You can't give him a 0.
I just did.
-1.
He gets a 4 for...
For what? Okay, for what? What do you do? No. Think about it, right? If Fred got 2 for turning up, right? Martial didn't actually turn up. So what does he get?
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, though, as well, like...
Martial's
People say I'm harsh. He's harsh.
It is harsh, but it's true. He didn't do anything.
But he's
Do you know
been
what?
injured and he hasn't had a preseason. This is like
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah,
It's true, though.
There's only so long you can make excuses for players. There is only so long you can do it. And we've heard...
So what's he getting, guys?
Service. We've heard he hasn't had a pre-season. We've heard Ibrahimovic took his shirt. We've heard all of these things. And it's like, sometimes you just got to turn up.
But I just cling to the hope from that season.
Go on, Jordan.
Leave me alone.
Go on, Jordan.
Leave me alone. I'm concerned about Martial. No, I'm concerned about Martial because I want it to work for him. And we keep talking about that season where he was player of the season and scored all those goals. That now is going to be 2 years ago. Like, how long do you hold on to it talking about that great season he had? He has the ability, something that Cavani doesn't necessarily have, where he could drop deep if he's not getting service, pick the ball up and actually beat a man. But he doesn't try it. Like, he doesn't try. Like, so I'm going to give him a 3.
I do agree with your point on that. When you see Cavani as a striker, and obviously age is just a number, but he is older than Martial, and you see him diving into tackles. If he loses a ball, he runs and gets it back. You see him on the halfway line making tackles. You see him on the left wing. You do see he's everywhere. Even if he's not getting service, he makes his own service. Yeah. But he's a top class number 9. And I think to myself, we should have a top class number 9 because we are Man United. The standard of Cavani should be what our new number 9 that comes in that we do need. He needs to be like that as well. We can't settle for someone who's just okay and can have his day. We need someone who's consistently going to break his back to be one of the best strikers in the league, and that's what you need at Man United.
Yeah.
So guys,
so the manager, what does he get? The manager, what's his rating today? This should be good.
4.
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Try not to be too harsh, but seeing as Jordan give Martial a 3, I might have to.
I'm going with 3 as well then.
I'd say.
Go okay.
It's 3 or 4.
It's the in-game management thing. Like I said, I go back to the start of this show. The fact he didn't change it at half-time, didn't change it in the first half, left it far too late, I just think is criminal, really.
And the initial selection.
Do not know what he stood on the sideline watching and thinking, let's just give it another 10 minutes. You cannot do that in football. You make these changes, you live and die by the sword kind of thing. You have to make the changes. You have to react to what the other manager's doing as well. What did they bring off? Theo Walcott at half-time or whatever and bring on a centre-back?
Yeah, they were trying
what they were setting up for the second half. They're thinking, we're 1-0 up, let's, kind of sit back. So as a manager, surely you'd think, for Christ's sake, right, well, we make a change now. We either get Sancho straight on or Lingard, whoever you want, and you go for it. So in that way, he took too long to react to what Southampton did today. Not proactive, man. No.
That is Ollie, though, summed up. It's always a little bit too little too late when it comes to his substitutions. We've seen it many times before. We saw it in the Europa League final. We don't want to get back into it all. And it is only the second game of the season. Hopefully, next week, we can put this game behind us. We get back to 3 points. It's still going to hurt because you want to have a bit of an unbeaten run at the start of the season. But second game in, guys. But you know what? On a positive note, De Gea played well. Pogba looked good. Mason Greenwood scoring goals, and it's going to be a massive season for him. And hopefully, we go to Wolves. Ollie picks the right team, and we win the game and we get to see Varane make his debut, hopefully. So it's a lot of things to look forward to, guys. I know Mark's doing a watch along on That's Football. We have the 8 p.m. show tonight. We've got fan vlogs coming. And thank you, everyone, for coming on the show. Thanks, Jordan. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jay. I've missed actually being on here with you guys because it's been a while. It's been a while since we've all been talking about football every week. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you for all your super chats, and we'll see you on the next one.